Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started.
Paul Heyman broke his silence today on social media after Roman Reigns was attacked last night at WWE Royal Rumble 2025. The Tribal Chief was in action in the Men's Royal Rumble match at the Premium Live event in Indianapolis. Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns battled during the Men's Royal Rumble match, and both stars got hung up on the ropes. CM Punk seized the opportunity and sent them both over the top rope, only to be eliminated by Logan Paul moments later. Following the elimination, Rollins unleashed a brutal attack on Reigns and hit him with a stomp on top of the steel steps. Heyman took to social media today following the attack to take a shot at Seth Rollins. He claimed that the former World Heavyweight Champion had anger management problems. You can check out the Wiseman's message in the post below. One could read this post as a Pat McAfee show calling it "Were Rollins an a-hole?" Considering Mr. Rollins' actions last night at a WWE #Royal Rumble, I would suggest Mr. Rollins' lack of anger management has been provoked enough. He wrote. Jey Uso went on to win the Men's Royal Rumble match last night by eliminating John Cena and earned a title shot at WrestleMania 41 later this year. Popular WWE star sends two-word message after Roman Reigns eliminated him at Royal Rumble 2025. Intercontinental Champion Braun Breaker sent a two-word message after being eliminated from the Men's Royal Rumble by Roman Reigns last night. Breaker had an impressive showing at the Royal Rumble last night, leveling popular influencer IShowSpeed with a spear. However, the champion ultimately fell short as the head of the table eliminated him. Following the show, Breaker posted several images from the match on his Instagram, along with a two-word message. Seth Rollins refused to team with Roman Reigns and the OG Bloodline last year in the Men's War Games match at Survivor Series 2024. CM Punk eventually agreed to team up with them in exchange for a favor from Paul Heyman. It will be interesting to see what WWE has planned for the rivalry between Reigns and Rollins moving forward. The arena was electric, buzzing with the aftermath of one of the most shocking Royal Rumble matches in recent memory. The shocking attack by Roman Reigns on his longtime ally, Paul Heyman, had stunned the WWE universe. Fans were left in disbelief as they watched the Tribal Chief, the man who once trusted Heyman as his wise man, betray him in the most unforgiving way. The attack had been swift, brutal, and left everyone questioning the future of the bloodline. The silence surrounding Heyman in the days following the assault spoke volumes, but now, the man who had always been a voice of control, eloquence, and strategy, was ready to speak out. A week after the chaos at the Royal Rumble, the tension in the WWE locker room was palpable. The echoes of Reigns' attack still hung over the business like a dark cloud. The bloodline was fractured, its leaders' intentions unclear, and the fate of the family was uncertain. But now, Paul Heyman was set to break his silence. The lights in the arena dimmed as the familiar music hit, the opening strains of The Realest Guy in the Room reverberated through the speakers. The crowd erupted in a mixture of cheers and boos as Paul Heyman stepped onto the stage, his signature suit impeccable, his expression unreadable. He held the microphone with a steady hand as he slowly made his way to the ring. This was no ordinary promo. This was something deeper, something more personal. "Allow me to introduce myself," Heyman began, his voice calm but laced with tension. "My name is Paul Heyman, and I am the advocate for the most dominant champion in the history of this industry. Roman Reigns." A wave of murmurs swept through the crowd, unsure of where Heyman was heading. The tension was thick, almost unbearable. "But that is no longer the case," Heyman continued, his eyes narrowing. "I stand before you as a man who has witnessed betrayal firsthand. A man who has been broken by the very hands of the man he trusted more than anyone else in this business." A collective gasp filled the air as the audience shifted uneasily. They had seen the attack, but hearing Heyman, the man who had orchestrated Reigns' rise to dominance, speak about it in such a way was unsettling. "Roman Reigns," Heyman said, his voice steady yet tinged with emotion, "the man who I had the honor of representing as his wise counsel, has made a grave mistake. A mistake that not only impacts him but affects the entire legacy of the bloodline. A family built on loyalty, power, and unity. But now, it is nothing but a hollow shell of its former self." The camera zoomed in on Heyman's face, catching the subtle tremor in his jaw, the weight of his words hanging heavy in the air. This was not the usual Heyman, confident, brash, unflappable. This was a man broken by betrayal, a man who had witnessed everything he had built crumble in a moment of rage and ego. "I've been called many things in my life," Heyman went on, his voice thick with emotion, "a genius, a mastermind, a manipulator. All true, in their own right. But never, in my wildest dreams, did I imagine that the man I helped rise to the top, The man I helped become the undisputed tribal chief, would turn on me in such a callous, calculated manner. The crowd murmured, the weight of his words sinking in. Heyman's eyes locked with the camera, as if speaking directly to Reigns, who might be watching backstage. Roman Reigns thought he could break me. He thought he could destroy me with a simple attack, with a simple act of violence. But let me make something crystal clear to you, Roman. Heyman's voice lowered, becoming more intense with each word. You may have attacked my body, but you cannot break my spirit. You cannot destroy what I have built. And you most certainly cannot erase the legacy that I created alongside you. Heyman paused, allowing the words to sink in. The arena was silent, hanging on his every syllable. It was a rare moment, seeing the usually confident and brash Heyman vulnerable, but also fiery, as though he was on the verge of unleashing something much bigger. Roman Reigns, Heyman continued, you may have shattered the bloodline for now, but you are not above the consequences of your actions. I've played this game long enough to know that what goes around comes around. The very empire you built with your own hands, the same empire you betrayed, will come crashing down. I will make sure of it. The crowd was on the edge of their seats, some still in shock, others fully invested in the drama unfolding in the ring. Heyman had always been a master manipulator, but now, it seemed he was tapping into something more raw, more real. This wasn't just about business anymore. This was personal. Now, let's be clear, Heyman continued, his tone shifting, becoming sharper, more calculated. I've made a career out of positioning myself with winners. I've stood by the greatest talents in this business, and I've seen what happens when they falter, when they slip up. But Roman Reigns has just made the biggest mistake of his life. And I will make sure that mistake costs him everything. Heyman's eyes flickered with a dangerous glint. Roman Reigns can keep his title, his kingdom, and his delusions of grandeur. But I will not be silenced. I will not be forgotten. And as for the bloodline, well, let's just say it's time for me to find my own path. A path where loyalty is earned, not demanded. He took a deep breath, his expression hardening. I've walked this path for far too long, and I have too many plans, too many moves left in me. So, Roman Reigns, you've made your move. But I promise you, this game is far from over. In fact, it's just beginning. The crowd erupted into cheers and chants, and Heyman, without missing a beat, threw down the microphone, his head held high. The message had been delivered. Paul Heyman was not someone to be underestimated. He was the mastermind, the orchestrator, and no betrayal, no attack could stop him from achieving his ultimate goal. As Heyman made his exit, the audience was left to wonder what his next move would be. The future of the bloodline remained uncertain, but one thing was clear, the stage was set for one of the most monumental power struggles WWE had ever seen. And at the center of it all stood Paul Heyman, ready to rewrite the story once more.